Hi YouTube, my name's Sean Connors, and obviously this is Outsiders, do apologise. I've been watching the progress of Lucky Louie, Mark, for quite some time, and obviously been DMing for him for the best part of 5 days. Now, on YouTube standards, as you've probably seen, we've had about 100 people go through it, and in fact it's Mark was the 100th player. We had a couple of others quickly go in after him and didn't last very long. But needless to say that Mark has successfully navigated the Tomb of Curses and completed it, which, to be honest with you, I'm over the moon about, because it removes a monkey off my back, and restored my faith in player kind, actually. The tomb was built on a simple premise, really. At the end of the day, it's called the Tomb of Curses, and you have to ask yourself, why is it called the Tomb of Curses? Well, fairly simply, everything's cursed. That's as simple as it is. And probably Mark would be the first to say that there is a lot that can be avoided here. I think a well thought out character with reasonable supplies doesn't have to be anything particularly funny, because if you know the solution to the place, actually, it's pretty straightforward. And I'm going to quickly cover off some parts that Mark never saw and some of the things that he did and some of the things he didn't. And anyway, needless to say, I'm over the moon for Rabbit. I'm going to nickname him that for now. But an awesome job. Anybody that can get through that is superb. Let's look at the tomb very quickly, and I'm going to break it down over a series of videos as well. This is just a very quick recap. You enter the challenge. You go down a flight of stairs. You'll also notice, before I get really into this, there isn't anything obvious there isn't anything really hidden except in there's 3 small bits of information that you could glean from the complex if you know where to look. None of them are critical to succeeding in it, but it's just interesting. It does give you an edge if you find them. But anyway, cut long story short, you come down the stairs, you're faced with choices. The choices you have is a small door with a flask in front of it, which says shrink, which is says basically drink me, and says it's a potion of shrinking on the back of it. You have a double set of doors off to your right, a broomstick, and you have a plaque on a wall. My friend described it best once when he said that the best way to look at something like this, or any good tomb exploration, or anything that's well thought out, is always take the path of least resistance and know all the options. And that is what Mark did very well, to be honest, Rabbit. The first thing he did when he went down, and it's the same thing with most people would do, is really the key is to focus. Forget the potion, forget the broomstick, and forget the double doors. The plaque is there for a reason. Have a look at it and see what you think. If you open the double doors up, what you're faced with is nothing is trapped here, as I've said, and you can search wherever you like. There is a pit, an open pit, which looks like it's not very deep, 5 feet deep, covered in dust, greyish dust. Very easy navigated if you've got the right skills. So you could climb past it, you could use a spider climb, you could use a fly potion, easy enough to navigate. If somebody should try to be clever and just sort of climb down slightly and step across and walk through the dust, there's no issue, except the dust is sneezing and choking dust, and if you read up about that, it's an absolute nightmare. If you fail your save, you're in deep trouble, and even if you make your save, you are stunned for 5d4 rounds, at which point, of course, as soon as you step down into the pit, the Broom of Animated Attacks from the previous room comes in and gets you. It's Goodnight Vienna with 4 attacks, I think. Now, should you make it across the pit, which I would expect most people to do and did, you're greeted with a room on the other side, which is a cross-shaped room, which has got a strange sphere hovering 2 feet off the floor. The sphere is total black. For those who haven't seen the video, it's out there. It's alluding to the fact that it might be a portal or a gateway. I asked myself, how many people will touch and jump into a sphere of annihilation? You'd be surprised how many will do it. You'll be surprised how many people will grab a broomstick. You'll be surprised how many people will drink a shrinking potion, only to be cursed. The potion, by the way, is a flask of curses. So I don't think really that not needs to be said there. Assuming that you understand what the riddle means on the plaque, and I'm not going to spoil that for those that still are about to attempt it, you're faced with the inner parts of the... Actually, I suppose now that it's been completed, it doesn't really matter, does it? The answer is S, effectively. Now, you can get the S in a number of combination ways. You can do it through manipulating 2 words on there, curse and cure, or you can simply just go to press the S. That's the other way you can find out the answer. Effectively, it is quite right that, as Mark surmised, it is a simple quatrain, absolutely spot on. And again, the focus here should be on the words curse and cure. Curse for obvious reasons, cure makes sense when you think about it. So you get beyond that door. Now, this is where it gets clever. Mark was very sensible. It's the only part of the complex that isn't initially lit. There's a clue there immediately something's wrong. Now, a number of players, most players, will light something, turn the corner. You immediately then create a duplicate of yourself with all your abilities and all your magic items and are faced with the situation of having to fight it. Assuming that you beat yourself and get through, you're likely to want to break that mirror. If you break that mirror and examine that area, there is a hidden bit of writing that you have to examine. It's quite small, it's like braille on the wall. And it actually says, before entering the next room, make sure you close your eyes. It is true to say that by closing your eyes and entering the next room, that is a good thing, because you can't get hurt by the other mirror. But however, if you close your eyes, you can't see the fact that the room has no floor. And that was probably the part that Mark didn't see, to be honest with you, so he probably thought it was a bit disjointed. However, if you should be unlucky enough to see the mirror in the second room, or the second mirror, that's a mirror of life trapping. Now, in Mark's case, his advantage was the fact that he made his saving throw, and all these creatures, his dogs, didn't. The other thing is, if he, like a few people tried to do, if you then say, I know what to do, I'll break the mirror, but break it in a way where it's still on the plinth, rather than pushing it off into the edge, then there are a number of undead things in there. And you know, when you surmised early on, Mark, there might be a mummy, yeah, there is one in there. Okay, it's not in a really good position, but there is one in there. But there's also some other undead that can get to you. So it was quite an interesting, good call not to actually break that mirror. Now, assume that you've gone past that point, and you could get around that room again with spider climb, levitate. These can all be got on potions. They could all be got on scrolls if you've got the right skills, like use magic device, or a part wizard, or part sorcerer, part rogue. Yeah, not that expensive. So really, so far, what would you need to complete the tomb? So far, get the correct letter, S. Get to the corner, operating under darkness, because you don't actually need to use light. Work out there's a mirror at the other end, realise it's bad. Maybe be aware of the next room, hopefully navigate it by using either, as I say, those methods, some sort of spell use. Get to the door opposite, not locked, and outside you're faced with a choice. Mark was very good, he used detect magic throughout, as you already said in his previous videos, and he realised off to the left, as you got faced with two choices, off to the left, the top left, very strong abjuration magic. Mark was absolutely right to avoid it. Well, it is out there, and it costs most people their lives. Is a series of archways which have mist colours protecting them. You can't see them, but you can see the mist, yellow, red, that sort of thing. Is a prismatic spray. Boy, has that killed most people. Human nature, as I say, is the beautiful thing about the tomb. It's designed on it, how players play. Now, assuming that you avoid that like Mark did and you turn off to the right, then you're faced with a simple choice. Off to your right there's a room which contains a table which has 6 bits of paper on it. I use the word paper, or possibly card, purely to lull the thinkers in, and it does say there is a key to the Tomb of Curses lies in this room, so you either might think there's something hidden in there, and to a degree there is, as Mark already found out and said quite well in his video, there is, but the actual key to the tomb is not playing with the tomb, so it's just to avoid it. That's the key. The key of the tomb is to avoid as much as possible. Whatever you don't have to do, don't do. Then you're faced with the door, the King's Puzzle. Now, I'm not going to say nothing about the King's Puzzle, but Mark has given me the correct answer. I'm just at this moment in time asking him to clarify how he got his solution, which I'm looking forward to hearing about. But it is a beautiful puzzle, which catches out a lot of people very, very easy. It's not easy to research it either, it's not simple to find. But once you get through that, indeed you are king. And in my view, considering that previously 122 people had died before YouTube, and we're just over the 100 mark in YouTube, that the tomb has taken 220 odd lives. And when you consider that all you would need is to find out the letter to a plaque, navigate a couple of mirrors skillfully, and you could do that by using, closing your eyes and having a fly potion, then coming to the final door and actually giving the clue out. The truth is, the tomb is everything you would want. Intelligence, skill, and a bit of luck. But what it does definitely show is human nature. We're going to cover off in a few videos. I'm really going to break down the tomb room by room for the benefit of a few DMs out there who wanted to see it done. It was my first effort into it. I'm over the moon with that. My congratulations to Mark for being the first person, the most organised player to actually succeed at doing it. So congratulations to him, and long may he reign over us. Anyway, take care and see you next time. Bye bye.